Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Wendy Eklund with Legislation Take Action, and I'm here with Lisa Sparks, who is running for the Orange County Board of Education. Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about this position and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and to, hopefully get to know, the homeschooling group. You guys are such an important group for us and what we're trying to do to
Right.
support you. And I'm Lisa Sparks. I'm the founding dean of the School of Communication at Chapman University. I'm actually in the parking lot right now because I'm getting ready to go into work. And so that's my day job, my real job. I'm also endowed professor of behavioral sciences. And so that's my day job. And then I was elected to the Board of Education 4 years ago. And I was recruited to run because of my stance on public charter schools and being supportive of school choice, parent choice.
And we appreciate that, Lisa.
Thank you. And choice for you all, for homeschoolers. My kids actually homeschooled for a few years. And then we were trying to figure out the system and it is a little bit scary to jump into homeschooling when you don't know anything about it, right?
Right. It is.
So I honor you all so much with what you do, because it is really amazing and so important. So I don't know, maybe we should just go back and forth. I can tell you three things, like in terms of an elevator pitch, that we do in the Board of Education, on the Board of Education. That is, we're an appellate board for the 28 school districts in Orange County. And we directly oversee the access students and the students that are in the prison system. And so we do directly oversee those kids. And what we try to do is three things. One, we approve high quality charter schools, public charter schools. Despite what some of the opponents will say, they'll say, oh, we approve everything. But that's not true. There's one that we didn't approve because they weren't ready. And we make sure that the schools are ready to go with their curriculum, ready to go with their budget and finances. We look at all that very, very carefully. So if the opposition says anything different, they're lying to you. So that's number one. Number two, really is, you can combine number 2 and 3 together. Basically, we stand for budget transparency and curricular transparency. And we really try to sunshine the wasteful parts of the budget that we see. And because I've run a school at Chapman University, I know how to analyze budgets. I know how to manage budgets. I know where the money can be moved around, and I know how to sunshine that stuff. And in some ways that scares the superintendent in his office, because they're like, oh gosh, she knows where to ask the question.
Right. She knows.
Yeah, which is good, because I can bring that skill set to the board. Then
it's always good to have checks and balances, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely. And we found out that they were wasting money on a lobbyist that was going up to Sacramento and flying to Washington, D.C. And they're wasting like $160,000 or more on this lobbyist that never communicated anything with us of any issues. And so we pulled that budget. I mean, we reduced it. And then curricular transparency, as you all know, because you all follow, or people in your group follow what we have been trying to do, which is sunshine the curricular issues around the California Healthy Youth Act, which is basically pornography in the classroom for elementary school kids. And we've held some forums along those lines, and we've tried to bring in, the top experts in those fields to sunshine it for parents, so parents then know what questions to ask of their school districts, and their principals and their teachers. And then the other sunshine that we've done in terms of curricula that's gotten attention, I guess, is so not only around the sex ed curriculum, but also, which is very explicit, scary, and two, around the ethnic studies and critical race theory curriculum that was passed. And so we held a couple of forums on that, and that was controversial. It shouldn't have been controversial, because we're just sunshining issues for parents, but that we got protesters saying, trying to.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Trying to turn it into kind of a circus, when we're just really trying to make sure that parents know what's going on in the classroom, so they know what questions to ask. And that I see is an important role for us to show in terms of showing leadership for our community, because the superintendent is not showing leadership in those areas. He's not, he is not, the current superintendent has not been sunshining issues. He likes to make unilateral decisions, and that's been difficult for us because he is not really working with us on anything. We've tried to settle these court cases that you may have heard about that we had to do, and we tried to settle with him and encouraged him to settle, and he's the one that won't settle. So that's another
I didn't know that.
Media.
Okay.
Yeah. Most people don't know that because the media is twisting that around. We're not the ones jacking up the costs. In fact, there was an OC Register article today where they had interviewed all of us. And if you click on my answers of the interviews, in one of my answers, I said this very thing, that, you know, these lawsuits are, some of them are pro bono, like the ones that we're on with Children's Health Defense Fund, Robert Kennedy Jr. Those are pro bono. The ones that we're suing Governor Newsom for his overreaching of his use of the Emergency Use Authorization Act, which he still is using, and we're not in an emergency anymore, as you can see.
Yeah, everything's open again. Right.
Everything's open. Yeah. So anyway, those are some things, and then I'll just, you know, I know you have questions you want to ask me, but those were some things I really wanted to kind of just make sure that your group and everyone knows. And if you guys can help spread the word on those things, that's really important.
Yeah. And I just wanted to point out that you guys got a lot of bad press about some of those white papers and those info sessions that you did. And really what your intention was behind those was to educate parents so they could ask questions, so they could make an educated decision on what things they wanted their children introduced to. You're not telling them to choose one way or another. You're just simply giving the information. And I think that's really important, because a lot of school districts never even bother to tell parents that there's a change being made in curriculum or anything like that. So
no, but what they do, in fact, what they often do, the districts, they'll post on their website, they'll post, oh, this is the curriculum. And they'll post like a PowerPoint slide or two, or they'll post a table of contents, and it doesn't tell you anything about the actual curriculum. It doesn't tell you that Planned Parenthood is coming in and doing the sex ed curriculum on a contract. And in fact, Planned Parenthood is supporting my opposition financially, giving donations to my competitor, as well as Mary Barkey's competitor. We know you can look on their donation forms, and Planned Parenthood
it's all public information.
Significant amounts of money, which is interesting because the OC Register article this morning didn't mention that, right?
Right. Well, and as homeschoolers and charter schoolers, we see a correlation between how our legislators vote and our representatives vote based on who they're funded by. So keep that in mind when you're voting for someone, because
absolutely. And then they'll say in the media article, but also you'll hear out our opposition say, that I'm funded by charter schools. Well, yeah, because I support charter schools. I'm very explicit about that. And so of course the charter schools are going to support me because I'm supporting their cause, as the elected official. So of course they support me.
Right. Yeah, of course. Well, charter schools have to support the people that support them because they're trying to make them totally illegal. So
exactly.
So they need all the help they can get. Right. And I think that is an important thing that you guys do at your office, because at your board, because so many schools go to try and get their authorization at the local level where they're supposed to go. They get denied, and then they can come to you guys. And if they have all their ducks in a row and you believe they're ready, you guys can authorize them. And I believe you guys have more charters authorized under the county office than we have in the whole Orange County. So you guys have approved more than our districts have.
Well, and we have, and not only that, we've approved more statewide. So we have the attention of county boards across the state. I think there are 58 counties in the state, and we've approved more charter schools than any other county. So it is important what we're doing. And as you know, to have that school choice, and for parents to not have to go to their government-run public school that's tied to their zip code, it's really, really important, because the public charter schools, as well as the homeschooling community, can offer a lot more innovation, a lot more creativity, and that that the local schools aren't necessarily engaging in. I mean, some are, and some are
Yeah,
trying
some
to,
are, right.
but, and I support creative teachers, of course. I mean, I'm a teacher, and
Right.
I love teaching.
Yes. Right.
But we need to meet kids where they are. This is what I say all the time. Whether it's the university level where I teach or the K-12 level, we need, as teachers and educators, we need to meet kids where they are, and we need to, help them with their learning, their thirst for learning and their love for learning, and then lift them up.
Yes. Right.
It's that simple, really,
Right. In a model that works for everybody, give them that option.
Yes.
Right. Right. And we have so many amazing education models in Orange County. We're very blessed in Orange County to have so many choices. Even within the county, we have a homeschool program. So
I know. I'm so jealous. I wish I would have known about that when I dug into homeschooling.
Oh, when you were doing, right? Yes. And even like I live in the Placentia Yorba Linda School District, and we have a homeschool. We have Parkview right here at the park by our house. And it's a great option for families that are, I find it works well for families that aren't quite ready to homeschool independently and they need more help and they want help with curriculum, and that works great. Kind of like our charter schools do as well, our non-classroom based charter schools. And I've also noticed how supportive you guys are of non-classroom based charters. I don't know if you remember, but I came and did a talk. I spoke to the board because of when Newsom cut the budget and was kind of leaving non-classroom based out. And you guys, you took part and you wrote a letter to Newsom asking him to make funding fair. So you defend all choices. It's not like you're picking one or two. You're wanting to make sure that every choice is available, so every child has something that will work for them. And I love that.
Yeah, 100%. It's so important. I mean, I think, I've been in education my whole life, and for 30, gosh, I don't know, more than 30 years.
Right.
Scary. Yes. The wrinkles are showing. That's why I have my sunglasses on. No. I didn't know. I grew up in Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma, our public schools at the time actually were pretty good in the smaller towns. And I was in a Northwest Oklahoma, a town of about 10,000 people. And so the community really got behind our teachers and educators because in a way, the social norms were such, if you were a bad teacher, or if you weren't effective, the community would kind of, wouldn't let you stay in that position, really. Right. And so the teachers really they had to care about, it was a tight knit community. And so public education was actually pretty good. I mean, well, okay, so my history class was taught by a football coach. So I had to kind of teach myself history because he cared more about football than about history. But,
well, maybe you could have done the history of the world through football. I don't know.
Exactly. But every other subject was really solid, and I had really very good teachers. So I didn't really understand fully this, all this movement. And of course, the movement has been in the last 10 to 15 years really taken off. I didn't really understand the importance of it until I got to California, because I was in Northern Virginia for a while at George Mason University. Okay. And my oldest child was in that system in elementary school. Okay. And they had magnet schools as well as charter schools. Right. And I just thought that was the norm. Like, there were quite a few choices actually in Northern Virginia. Then I came to California, and it was just like non-existent pretty much. Right. And my kids were in the Irvine Unified District for many years. And at every grade level I saw, and it's supposed to be this great school district, but it had a lot of holes in it. Right. And I'm an educator. My husband's an educator, both in higher ed, but we know education, and we know quality education, and we know if teachers know their subject matter, and we were experiencing what a lot of your group have experienced. Right. And that's what got me fired up to run for the Board of Education 4 years ago. Because I was just like, this can't be happening in one of the best districts. What about the ones that have more holes in them? Right. Right. Yeah. So well, at least giving parents the choice to choose a school, which is another thing you guys do. You do the appeals for if you ask for an interdistrict transfer. Yes, we do. We absolutely do. And we really try. In most cases, we err on the side of the parents, and we really try to support the kids and parents in their choice. unless there's a huge reason not to, maybe
Right.
something was done that shouldn't have been done, or,
Right.
so we have to make kind of a judgment, but we 95% of the time, maybe even higher, err on the side of supporting the parents.
The parents, right? Which
Yeah.
I love that you guys are all about parent choice, from giving us choices in education to giving us choices at what school our kids can go to if, the one that in our neighborhood doesn't work for us. Can you
absolutely.
tell us where your district is, so that way people know, oh, I live in that city, I should vote for Lisa?
Yes, thank you. So I am all of South County, and with the redistricting that happened, which was a total cabal, by the way,
right.
Whole story there. But anyway, my district, basically Newport Beach was chopped up, even though that 11-person committee said, oh, we're doing this because we want to keep school districts whole. And I'm thinking, you're blowing up Newport. What are you talking about?
Right.
So Newport that's where I live, Newport Beach. And they actually gerrymandered Mary Barkey's district over to take over half of Newport.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, the northern half. So I still have Big Canyon where I live. So where Jamboree is, and then Ford Road. So I don't have one Ford Road. I have the side of Big Canyon, and then they took it from. So I have that side of Newport basically. Okay. I have parts of CDM, Corona Del Mar, which go from Morning Canyon south, and up in Harborview Hills south, that area. Basically the areas of CDM that are south of what Mary Barkey has. So some people in Newport will vote for Mary Barkey and some people will vote for me, but I have everything on the south basically.
Okay.
So including like Crystal Cove, Newport Coast, and then going all the way down to Laguna Beach, Dana Point, San Clemente, then up into Laguna Woods, Laguna Hills, Aliso Viejo, Mission Viejo, Lake Forest, Coto de Caza, Ladera Ranch, Las Flores. What am I missing? Everything south, basically, of Irvine. Yeah.
Is San Juan Capistrano? Yes, Rancho Santa Margarita.
Rancho Santa Margarita.
So everything south to San Diego.
Yes, basically.
Right.
Yes, everything's south. So it's big. It's a big area.
It is big. Yeah.
So a lot of my area didn't get gerrymandered too much, but it got chopped. Newport got chopped, and that's my home city. So, it is what it is.
Well, hopefully we'll get the word out to all the homeschoolers in those areas and make sure they know that you're running and that you protect not only our charter schools, but a lot of our kids then decide that they want to try school, and to be able to pick a school that's going to work best. Like, we have some multi-age programs that I tried to get my son into, and I'm like, oh, that would work better because he's used to being multi-age as a homeschooler. So to be able to choose that if I need to try school sometime. So,
exactly.
So we appreciate you and all you do to protect our rights as parents and to give us choices and not decide for us. We love that.
Yes. So well, I appreciate all the work you guys are doing, and especially your advocacy and your willingness to get our message out there to these various groups. It's really, really important because it really takes everyone working together to help get us across the finish line.
Totally.
And
people need to realize that the people that they vote for are the people making it difficult for us or supporting us. And so I think it's good that we do this little education series and meet everybody and see what it is that you actually are doing for us and what your jurisdiction is. And so that's perfect. So I appreciate you taking the time. Do you think there's anything else we forgot?
Oh gosh. Well, I would just say for you activist tiger moms and dads out there, just keep fighting the fight, keep for your rights, your parent rights. Come to our meetings if and when you can to give public comment, because that really helps us in terms of showing support. So it's kind of if you haven't done it before, it may feel a little awkward, but you prepare 2 or 3 minutes of public comment on the issues that are important to you and bring those to us, because we listen, and that really helps us a lot.
Oh yeah. I always get so nervous. I have to write it out. And then I stand there reading it and I feel like, oh, if I stop reading, I'm going to forget what I have to say.
I know, but it's so important, and people don't even realize. I didn't realize until I got into all this deal how important all that support really is.
Right. Well, and you guys do appreciate the public comment. I have been to the Capitol where they push me out of the building, don't let me in. If we have to call in, they turn the phones off on us. But you guys are always welcoming, even during COVID,
Yes.
when I went to some of the meetings.
Yes.
There'd be a lineup outside and we would speak. And then those of us that wanted to make room for someone else to speak, we could go out and let other people in. And you didn't shut them out. You didn't let anybody out.
No,
So,
we want to hear from people because
yeah.
we want to make sure that we're representing your needs and desires and wants. So it's important that we know. I mean, I think we know, but it's just important that we continue to know what barriers you all are facing, how we can break those barriers for you.
Right. Well, and they're always welcoming to our children. I've heard some very eloquent speakers that were young, school-age children that are speaking to the board, and they're always very patient and actually kind of excited to hear from the kids. So I love that. I love it when our kids get up and speak. So yeah.
I do too.
Well, we really appreciate your time, and I'll put links to your site and everything. And if anyone wants to volunteer to help or to make sure you know everything about Lisa, you can visit her website and we'll give that to you. And make sure you get out there and vote or fill out those ballots that came in the mail. And
sparksforschools.com. That's sparksforschools.com.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. Right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.